Resurrecting the death with a snap of his fingers. Kai followed Mia until she reached her home and saw her enter it and closed the door behind her. A minute later, a group of people reached her door and started banging on it. "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. May I ask what you are doing?" Kai chose this moment to appear as they paused. "You can tell the difference between us," a woman asked as the others shushed her. "Nothing. We're here to talk with Mia," one of them said. Kai raised his eyebrows. "And what are those masks for? Cosplay? Or perhaps—" Kai paused and smiled. "Kidnapping?" he finished as their bodies shivered slightly. Mia heard the banter from inside her house, excited, and quickly moved to the stand beside Sky. She eyed the group with a hawk, gazed and turned towards Sky. "What are you going to do with them?" she asked him with a smile. Mia had already figured out a small part of Kai for some reason. He wanted to help her, so she wanted to see what he could do now. "I can simply kill them and make their bodies vanish," he replied as Mia's eye widened in surprise. "We can hear you, and don't think that we are afraid of you," one of them said, but both Kai and Mia ignored them. But damn, something like this might happen to someone else, and it will be a huge waste of their lives to die like that. "So let's make an example out of them," Kai said to me as the group stepped back a little. "Then let's settle this with a death match. After all you can defeat my 9 puny disciples. There's no way you can defeat that family," Mia offered, and Kai nodded. "You're going to battle the 9 of us in a deathmatch? Are you crazy?" one of them asked as Kai nodded again. "Mia, can you get our girl to watch the match?" Kai asked as Mia winked at him and left. "Lead the way," Kai said to the group, and even though they want to run away, they still lead him towards the entrance exam hall. It looked as though death matches also took place here, as he nervously stood there while Kai carefully eyed them. "What do you think about the crowd?" Mia asked as she appeared a few minutes later. Behind her, about 300 disciples cheered as the group blinked in confusion. Kai was also curious about how Mia got such a crowd together in such a short time, and told them that the winner will receive a kiss from me. She whispered to Kai and winked at him as she blended with the crowd. "You have 5 minutes to prepare," Kai said to the group as they huddled together to talk about strategies. "We don't know about his cultivations." "What should we do?" one of them hissed. "What we should have done was that we wouldn't have bothered Mia," one of them said, and all of them started at 2 girls. "Why are you looking at us like that?" "That bee will have become a nuisance in a few weeks, and those pretty looking will of course fool many guys," one of them countered as all of them shook their heads and prepared a strategy. Since in a deathmatch it would only end if one of the companies either gave up or died. So they'd have to tire Kai out and then defeat him in the last round with the strongest cultivator. "I don't have the time to kill all of you separately. Just come at me together," Kai said and yawned. Nobody could speak anything after hearing Kai's words. And the group gulped, as if they expected to be a trap, but when they realized it was not, they stepped forward with a happy expression since they're tough. They had a chance of winning. They didn't know how wrong they were. The crowd did a countdown as they entered the battle position. When the battle started, Kai created a barrier around himself and group, and they were startled by that. Fighting a healer was tough, since they could heal themselves, but the formation master was even tough. Their hopes suddenly started to dim. Kai snapped his fingers. Their heads all fell down from their bodies, and blood poured out from their necks. The crowd shivered as they saw his brutal scene. It was as though one moment they were alive, and the next moment they were dead. But the next moment it was as though them had turned back, their heads flew back and attached to their necks, and they were alive. They trembled in shock and fell down as Kai stared at them. It's sad that this technique could only resurrect someone in immortal cultivation realms. If this technique was enhanced, I would have been able to resurrect my harem. Kai sighed it, and this, but since the barrier was up, no one could hear it. Kai then walked forward towards them, and they crawled back while their bodies trembled. After a few moments, they hit the end of the barrier and squealed in fear as Kai came to stand in front of them. Did you learn your lesson? Kai asked, as if he wants teaching asking a question from his students. Yes, we did, one of them said, and Kai shook his head. Perhaps some of you did, but some of you think they will kill me if they had a chance. Guess I will have to engrave the lesson in your brain. Kai said, and their bodies burst apart. Blood and organs flew everywhere, but none of them marked Kai's clothing. He resurrected them again, and this time, instead, was satisfied with their expressions. Rest in peace, okay? That was a bad joke. He smiled at his own bad joke and snapped his fingers. The group turned to dust, then slowly settled down on the ground as Kai walked away. The barrier disappeared as everyone stared at him. You weren't kidding when you said you defeated that family. I'm sorry, but I have to use you to obtain my revenge one day. I will repay you, Mia thought, as she quickly followed him out of the welcoming hall.